Hello, welcome again to another video. It's the end of 2021 and probably the last video I'm going to make in 2021, maybe the last video of all time, who knows. Obviously 2021's been a difficult year for everyone, as was 2020. For the unspeakable Rona and everything that went along with it. So these haven't been good times. And as I walk now in that drizzly rain, that that drizzly fucking British rain that you get, think like could be worse. Could be snowing. I've noticed a lot of people, the middle class like snow because to them it represents fun and skiing holidays and going off piste and beautiful times, gaily gadding around, and then they come in with the little cold fingers and thumbs and they warm them by the fire, and they have mulled wine and they have sherry trifle and things like that, and they talk about the third skiing holiday, and they're really, they're happy to get in from the cold, and always delighted when it snows. They go playing out and making snowmen shapes in the fucking snow. And so the middle class, they're very happy when it snows, and that's because they have respite from the snow, whereas the working class and the underclass, where I came from, they never like the snow, because to them it represents that the house is going colder and they're going to have heating bills that they can't afford, and which means that they have to choose very often between heating and eating. So the poor never like the snow. Also, it means that older people slip in it and break their ankles and their fucking legs, hips and everything. So older people tend not to like the snow. So higher bills, accidents, all that comes with December. And then of course in a country like this, where we have like 10 months of winter, it's never welcome anyway, because it's only welcome if you can protect yourself from it with and that usually boils down to wealth or inheritance or some other good fortune that may have landed on your shoulders, and then you attribute it to hard work. Anyway, so where was I? So this is the end of the year 2021. I'm going to get around this corner, it's a bit noisy. I know you're all dying to hear what I've got to say. So yeah, it's been a difficult year with difficult times, and this is the time of year, of course, that people start to reflect on the way life is, as we embark on what will be a new year. I think it's been very difficult for a lot of people, and of course let's not forget that heating and gas and electric bills will rise by 50% in the middle of the year. So it's true to say that the whole thing, not only England or the UK, but the whole thing is being mishandled in a catastrophic way. And I think whichever side of the political fence you reside upon, we could all agree that it's being handled in a catastrophic way. This system is good for no one except the elite and the rich. So we'll all have to see what happens. I don't want to start talking about the Great Reset, because you can look that up online, but we're in the midst of it now. Well, not really the midst, we've begun, the Great Reset has begun. and that will continue into 2022 with more vaccines, a fourth, a fifth, probably a sixth. They call them boosters, but it's more of the same. The fluid is the same, so a lot of people are going to be taking that, but that will coincide as well with the COVID jab and the uptake. Sorry, not the jab, the COVID pass. The pass is where the controllers will try and enforce the use of passes in order to gain access to various places. So that'll be interesting to watch in 2022, and other things will take place as well. Like I say, the higher gas and electric bills. The NHS will probably lose about 20% of its staff in April as they leave when they refuse to be vaccinated. So a lot of them will go. So the NHS will further crumble. Sorry this message isn't a happier one really, but we are living in extremely extraordinary times, and I must say it's interesting to watch. But I asked people, like I asked on one of my previous videos, I think it was the last one or the penultimate one, what makes anyone think these times would be any different than the other troubled times? If we look at the control system, whatever you want to call it, everyone's got a different name for it, but if you look at the system of control that controls the world, it's always been difficult. From the Roman Empire, Vlad the Impaler, Ivan the Terrible, the Boer War, World War I, World War II, the Yugoslavia, the collapse of Yugoslavia, and Bosnia and everything else that happened there, Sarajevo, the Russian Revolution, the French Revolution. It's always been a very difficult time. So people think now, for some reason, I don't know why they think it, but that they think that the controllers would be more beneficent now. There are some people who think that the system now would be better than it was in any of those other war times that I've just mentioned. Now, why on earth would they think that the controllers of 2021 would be any different than the controllers of any other year in history? Why would they be beneficent now? That's the question. In other words, why would you trust the system now when you know what's happened in the past? So on we go, and we're just going to have to see really, because there are so many things I can't say while I'm doing this little probably final presentation, certainly the last one of this year. So many things I can't say because I've been shadow banned on and off all year, because what we've got at the moment are bots who are trained to listen for certain keywords, and then they put the video down in the ratings. So that's why my videos get no views. No, this shit! Yeah, it might be that as well. But regardless of what the reason is, I know I'm shadow banned because I've had many proofs of it over the last 2 years, where my comments and on YouTube videos of other people and my videos themselves are just completely shadow banned. So there's a pointlessness in that. If you're doing something like baking a cake and you're always saying nice things, then that'll get you to the top of any list. But if you say nothing controversial, videos about cats, I always get 31 million likes in half an hour. So but I can't think about cats when the fucking world is crumbling. You see, that's the thing, that's the difference between me and the normies I just happen to be able to see. So, and I see that we're in a very, very difficult, horrendous time. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll turn out okay, but I doubt it very much. And again, I don't want to be a prophet of doom. I genuinely like people and want people to prosper and to thrive. It's part of my job, as some of you will know. So people say to me, so Anthony, what can we do about all this? What can we actually do to this is nice, isn't it? Look, someone's got the spirit of Christmas. So what can we do about all this? What's the solution? Well, there isn't one, sad to say, because we currently live in a faux democracy, which means that it looks like a democracy, but it isn't really a democracy. If you notice, put into Wikipedia where all the British Prime Ministers attended university and college and stuff, and you'll find that most of them went to Oxford, some to Cambridge. So they go to the same university, they have the same beliefs, and some would say that they are groomed into those positions, arguably from birth. So what you do when you swap political parties from, say, Labour to Conservative, you swap one similar person for another similar person whose entire job it is to maintain the status quo. So nothing really changes, just tinkering around at the edges. That's all that ever happens. Nothing actually changes. So we saw last week when the Conservatives were trying to bring in some mask thing or other, and the Conservatives couldn't get it through because they had some rebellious backbenchers. They couldn't get it through Parliament, so they asked for the assistance of Labour, and Labour voted it through. So Keir Starmer rallied his people to vote for the Conservative Party bill, which is extraordinary. So there's no alternative, there's no situation whereby difference is apparent. All you've got is, like I say, you go in and put your little cross on a box, but for what? Nothing changes. So there's no political solution. Anyone who votes for change soon finds that they don't get it, and after you get past a certain age, usually 40, 45, you realise that no change occurs. I was brought up by an old woman, and she used to say, oh, they're all in it for themselves, oh, they all piss in the same pot, and they're just self-serving bastards. And I used to think, God, how bitter, how awful to have that world outlook. And of course, she was right, and she was saying that in the 1970s. So it was ever thus. They're just a bunch of self-serving liars. So that's why the country's in a fucking shit tip at the moment, and a mess. It's being run by self-serving liars. So what can you expect? But that's not just this country, that's every country, and that's why they're all in cahoots over the coronavirus situation. You can't get a cigarette paper between any of them. You look at all the world leaders, from Bucky Bear in New Zealand to Putin to China, Bojo Boris, Angela Merkel, Trudeau, dopey Joe Biden, all these people. I mean, God, how did he get even in? That's another story. But you look at them all and you'll find that they're all in agreement. And do you think that's because they have health interests at heart for you, doubt it. If that was the case, he'd just ban smoking. Smoking kills more than coronavirus could even hold a hat to. But it's obvious what the real killers are, and it's nothing to do with what it seems to be. It's to do with things like smoking and shit diets, and you know, the fact that they allow us to eat shit food that isn't really even food. That's when I say us, I don't mean me, I mean you. So anyway, imagine this as a Christmas message. Imagine if I was the Archbishop of Canterbury who said that it's immoral not to have the jab, or Tony Blair, the very popular in Iraq person, who said that you're an idiot not to have it. So with these big cheeses like Justin Wellesby and Gates and Blair, none of whom are medically qualified, it's telling you what to do, then you go and do what's right for yourself. So happy Christmas, happy New Year. Might see you all on this channel in the new year. I can never decide whether to carry on doing these videos or just fuck it off. There don't seem to be much point. You see some YouTubers get thousands of views and likes, and I'm not in it for that. What I started this for was like a psychology and music channel, and I thought I had some good points and some, you know, good points to make and some information to convey to people. And then so I did some psychology videos in 2017 and 18, and then some music videos in 19 and 20, but more recently some social commentary type of videos like this one. And what I found is that whatever I do is grotesquely unpopular. So, but I don't do it for that. I do it as like a little log to look back on, and for people to hear my voice maybe one day when I've gone. So but I'll still be around. I'll just be on the other side, and hopefully my karma will be good, because if we're all here to mop up karma, being given our soul a human experience in a meat suit, then that's what I'm here to do. So we do no harm, but we see those around us who are actively destroying our lives. I wonder how long that can go on for. So a tipping point will eventually occur, and that might happen in 2022. People will only take so much. And if you hit them in the pocket, people seem more concerned with their pockets than they do with their health. So everyone will have a jab, but you tell them the tax bill is $5,000, they'll all freak out. So we'll see how that goes. So best wishes for next year. I hope my next message, if I ever do one, will be a happier one, and I hope that this one finds you all happy and with abundance. Alright, see you soon. Bye from me and the Christmas beard.